What is going on with all of my people of social media? I am D Venom, and welcome to, along with feather friends, and welcome to Addiction, Relapse, and Recovery. Any amount of your guys' positive energy shown on not just this social media platform, but all of my social media platforms are always welcome. And with that being said, let's get into addiction, relapse, and recovery. Okay, y'all have to excuse me. I am super happy. Okay, remember I told you guys that I have two approaching milestones. I completed one. A couple of days ago, I made the 90-day mark in regard to being clean from methamphetamine. Not only myself, but countless of other individuals within the world also made that 90-day milestone. Congratulations to you guys. And I went to my original 12-step meeting last night expecting a coin. Now recall, I went to a different NA meeting and I received that red 90-day coin. But I really wanted it from my primary 12-step meeting, considering they are the first organization that I went to here in the Arizona area for, 12 step. I wanted it from them. But anyway, I get there and, it's semi-packed and, they go through a couple of protocols and they get to the part where you receive a coin for being clean for X amount of, days, weeks, months, years, or whatever. And they got to the 90-day mark, and I, along with someone else, stood up, and we, marched to the front. And I reached my, hand out to receive what I thought was going to be a coin. And the person gave me a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, it said, 90 days, I owe you. And there was, some laughter and stuff like that within the meeting. And I felt like the joke was on me. And I was pissed, because I was expecting, and that's where I fucked up, because I was expecting to receive a 90-day coin from this particular organization. And, I went and sat down and I remained in my, that's Alexa. I remained in my energies throughout the meeting, and I should not have let it affect me, that much, but I did, and I had a speech plan and everything. I was going to preach. Okay, my throat chakra open. I was not going to hold back in regard to spirituality and all that. Me surrendering my addiction to the spiritual realm before I surrendered it to man. I was going to preach, and I was so upset that when it came time for me to say something, because, whoever receives a coin for being X amount of, days, months clean or whatever from, whatever substance that they were abusing, primarily methamphetamine, they get a chance to reflect on a story that has been read prior to the coins being delivered, or they can speak about where they are at in life, right now. And I was going to take the opportunity to talk about where I'm at, where I'm at in life right now. But, anyway, after, the meeting was over, we all stood in a circle holding hands, and, they do the serenity prayer. After the serenity prayer, I bounced. I didn't want to mingle with nobody, nothing. I left that piece of paper that said 90 days I owe you on that motherfucking seat. I was still heated. I get in the vehicle, I started up, and I'm not sure if I started to reflect in the parking lot of the organization or while I was on the road. But it clicked that you should be happy at the fact that all of those 90-day coins have been distributed amongst people here in the Arizona area that are clean from, whatever substance they're clean from. And I'm pretty sure it's, crystal methamphetamine. This is a blessing. This is a joy. This is what we want to happen. I should not be upset. And aside from that, a 90-day coin from whatever organization, of choice does not validate my sobriety. this bitch sitting right here in front of this motherfucking camera with this microphone validates my motherfucking sobriety. And let that be the reason. If I allow someone else to validate my sobriety, then, you know, that's on me, but I validate it. So that's what I had to come to terms with. Now, tomorrow, if I do decide to attend that particular meeting, I will hopefully pick up my coin then and, you know, show you guys and go from there. Aside from, you know, 90 days or whatever, I attend Recovia today. And, you know, if you guys don't know what Recovia is the organization here in the Arizona area where I go for further treatment in regard to recovery, sobriety, and whatever else. Anyway, during physical therapy, I'm talking to one of the physical therapists, and it came up in regard to, well, I brought it up in regard to my last day there. And I knew that the last appointment that I had last week, I was about 2 weeks shy or whatever, or I thought I was about 2 weeks shy from, you know, graduating their program. Maybe it was 2 weeks, but anyway, that particular physical therapist looked in the computer for some information regarding my last day. And you guys, that milestone that I thought was going to be a couple of weeks from now is actually tomorrow. I graduate from Recovia's 18-week intensive program tomorrow. That is amazing. I am super, super, super happy with my motherfucking self. I'm popping my collar, I'm snaking, I'm pop locking, I'm doing all that. I'm thanking the spiritual realm. I'm thanking you guys for your support. Oh my God, this is major that I made it this far. An 18-week intensive program. I remember 18 weeks ago when I was sitting in that very parking lot across the motherfucking street. Sorry, my mouth is dry. On a extremely hot afternoon. And after I was forwarded some information in regard to 12-step meetings here in Arizona by a good friend of mine in Chicago, I reached out to Recovia. I did not reach the facility, but I reached the CEO of Recovia, and I spoke with him for a long time. And then I called and got the facility, spoke to a young woman, booked my appointment, and went from there. And tomorrow is that day, you guys. I allege I will receive my certificate, and I have the option to continue on into supportive care, which is staged out for a whole nother year. And the physical therapist asked me, you know, am I going to continue the program? And I, you know, kept it real. I will probably give it an even number, which will probably be 2 months of supportive care. And I'm reconnecting with my primary therapist because it pretty much began with her before it began with Recovia. And I enjoy my relationship with her. Not saying that I have a problem with Recovia, but it does take a lot out of me going there and spending so much of my time and, you know, when I can do about a good half an hour virtual appointment with my primary therapist, to let that be the reason, I will still continue my supportive, care or supportive barriers through 12-step meetings. I don't necessarily have to continue, on with Recovia, 8:44 time of this recording. But I'm excited to take the tools that Recovia has given me and spread my wings and put my feet on the edge of that nest and jump off and take flight. I'm not scared to do this. I'm embracing change. And speaking of change, you guys, we are moving. There's a lot going on in regards to this landlord, this apartment, and some of everything else. And I have a letter to prove that the landlord is pretty much, But the universe is structuring my life in a way to perfection. And I manifested being closer to the mountains, which I will be. And anyway, I went to go look at our floor plan today, and I also paid the $250 some, $3 plus service fee or whatever, for the $50 for the application fee, $200 for the admin fee, if I'm not mistaken. And anyway, if I would have gotten out of this particular lease at the end of this month, I fucked up. When I did get around to the notice of vacate, letter, it was around the 8th, and I should have put the 1st, but I wanted to, keep it real. And the landlord, of course, is being anal and won't let me out of the lease until the end of August, which works for me because financially I probably wouldn't have been able to do it at the end of July. So that extra month or whatever gives me some time to stack up, do whatever I need to do, and go from there. But before I end this is where we will be. Hold on. We'll be right here in this corner of this big ass apartment complex. And if I would have got out at the end of this particular month, I would have had a 2-bed, 2-bath, fireplace and all that. But the blessing is I get a 2-bed, 1-bath and private patio and whatever else. It's in a fabulous location and I just can't wait for us to move forward. I was going to show you guys this particular picture that I got from the Goodwill. I went there a couple of days, it doesn't matter. I'm just incorporating a lot of color moving forward, and I can't wait for you guys to, it's going to be on and popping, you guys. But anyway, my addicts that are still suffering in silence, you guys got this. If I made it through a 18 intensive week program in regard to, recovery, you guys can do this too. All right, namaste.